What's up YouTube? This is Ringo from Headsphere. It's been a while. I'm finally wrapping up my own personal exams that I'm doing, and I'm almost back into, fully making a bit more video, going over some more stuff. I've been seeing a lot of students lately regarding their TOK essay, and I've realized a lot of you guys are not showing how the TOK essay is actually assessed. So here on my screen, what I have for you, it's, pretty much in the TOK guide, which suggests how or what the examiners will be looking for. Well, I mean, of course, the examiners will get a more of a comprehensive reading of this, but just with this scheme, you guys can have a good idea on how or what you guys should be looking at. So without further ado, today what we're going to do in this very short video is that we're going to look into and try to understand this and how shall we get our A in TOK. Well, first thing you need to know is this. We have to be able to understand the different types of requirements they're asking. So let's just zoom in right here. So here it says that there is a sustained focus on knowledge question. I want you to read this question very carefully. Sustained knowledge question connected with the prescribed title. So what that means is that knowledge questions are one thing, prescribed titles is another. So stop paraphrasing the prescribed title just to get the knowledge question. It doesn't usually work that way. The knowledge question should be something that you're questioning, you're asking about how you obtain that knowledge or the certain conditions in how these knowledge are obtained. So now let's move on. And are chosen, can you guys see? And chosen, develop with investigation with different perspective and linked effectively to the knowledge question. Ooh, okay, that's a mouthful. Different perspective. Like I said to many of my students, do not fall into the idea of confirmation bias. Stop saying you have an idea and then you have something to support that idea. Of course, you can find a million things that can support your idea. I mean, as an examiner, we don't care. I mean, I can't say on behalf of all examiner, but the examiner would not care about it. Because, you can easily think of points that supports your argument. But what they are looking for is whether you have critical thinking, whether you're able to analyze the same examples in many different perspectives. This is what shows critical thinking. And they're linked effectively to either the areas of knowledge and or the ways of knowing. So I'm just going to erase this little part first because it says and or ways of knowing. Not every single TOK essay requires both areas of knowledge and ways of knowing. I'm not saying you don't need it. I'm saying that it's not required. However, it's good that you actually include both. But, don't make it so cliche, this knowledge was gained through sense perception, and we can see that emotion was used. You might as well just not use it if you're just gonna put in that words for that sake. So explore, compare how the different areas of knowledge or how the ways of knowing can affect the way in which you see the question. For example, does robust knowledge requires consensus and disagreement in the field of natural science and arts? I mean, natural science is a very objective, methodological, deductive reasoning kind of process, whereas art, is more subjective. So how does that compare when forming what we know as robust knowledge? Are we using the same ways of knowing? Are different individuals using the same ways of knowing when they're generating knowledge? So keep that in mind, guys. So next, what do we have? We have arguments are clear, supported by real life examples. Okay, let's scroll down a bit here. Arguments are clear, real life, evaluated. So let's talk about these few terms. Well, the first word we are seeing is arguments. Yes, you have to form arguments. And they have to be explicit. I mean, if you're writing about robust knowledge, my first question to my student is, okay, so tell me an example. Okay, that's a good example. What's the robust knowledge? You have to be able to clearly, explicitly state what robust knowledge or the presumption that you're making within the essay before you can actually argue otherwise. Real life examples, that's easy. I think most students can do this very well. Ooh, what about this one? Evaluated. Well, this evaluation, this word evaluation, links closely. Let me get my pen. So the word evaluation links closely to your perspective. You need to be able to link how, different perspective because you're evaluating. Yeah, that's what I meant. Counterclaim are extensively explored. Well, counterclaim, a lot of students will know, which is like pretty much the opposite of the statement. So that one, a lot of students are not bad at. Oh, this one. Implication. This word is not in your other stuff. They're not in this grade, they're not in this grade. They're only in that grade. So what is implication? Well, it's simple. Implication is, can you generalize your argument? What kind of take-home message do you want to bring out? Is it that in natural science, disagreement and consensus, is needed, whereas in arts, only consensus is needed to form robust knowledge? It could be that, or it could be otherwise. So how the word implication is, how do we try to generalize that idea, that narrow idea, with that examples we gave? How do we generalize it so that there's some sort of take-home message, or it could be applied elsewhere in the field of science, art, music, history, something along that line. So this word is very important. That's what is going to distinguish you from an A from a B. So that is pretty much this. So remember, guys, if we compare the other grades, what we're going to get is that we don't have implication here. Okay, we don't have implication here, and that we don't have if you have no eval, that's here. If you don't have implication, you most likely will end up here. So this is like no implication. Oops. What about the top bit? Well, here, if you're gonna get like a B grades, chances are that they're connected. You still need knowledge question, perspective linked. Okay, so the word well chosen is missing. What does that mean? Well, you have to be able to select an example that is very, very well formulated. It's not just like any random example. That's why your teacher always tell you to not talk about how the world is flat or something like that. It makes sense because that's not a well chosen example, and that example may not be able to demonstrate to you which area we're talking about. Are we looking at human science? Are we looking at natural science? That's confusing, right? So your example, the real life example, should be relatively narrow, and it's not a very general type of knowledge. That's what I would suggest. Anyway, so thank you for watching. Hope you guys like this video. Hope you guys, all the best, in this upcoming Christmas, while a lot of you guys will be writing your essay. Sorry that I haven't had the chance to reply a lot of the emails. I will eventually slowly get through them. I mean, I'll go through the more recent one first. And yeah, so sorry that I couldn't answer every single one of the question. Anyway, thank you for watching. Peace out for now. This is Ringo from Medsphere.